Imagine a young boy who dreams of becoming a professional basketball player. He watches games on TV, idolizes the top athletes, and even practices shooting hoops in his backyard. This boy has a natural knack for the sport. He's faster and more agile than his peers, and he scores effortlessly. But as time goes on, a curious thing happens. While the boy's friends train diligently day after day, he skips practice because he thinks his talent alone will get him to the top. Slowly, his natural edge fades, and soon, the disciplined kids, who weren't as talented as him initially, begin to outperform him. What happened? The answer is simple: discipline trumped talent. Talent is often seen as a magical quality that ensures success. Many people think that if you are born with a certain skill, your life is set and you're guaranteed to succeed. But talent alone is like a car without gas. It may look impressive, but it won't take you anywhere. Discipline, on the other hand, is the fuel that drives you forward. It is the habit of showing up, putting in the work, and pushing through difficulties. In life, it is discipline, not talent, that determines how far someone can go. When we hear about success stories, it's easy to assume that those people were born to be great. Take Michael Jordan, for instance. Many think he was just naturally destined to become the greatest basketball player of all time. However, few know that Jordan didn't make his high school varsity basketball team at first because his coach thought he wasn't good enough. Instead of giving up, Jordan used that rejection as fuel. He worked harder than ever, showing up at the gym early in the morning and practicing long after everyone else had gone home. His natural ability combined with an extraordinary level of discipline is what ultimately made him great. Had he relied solely on talent, he might have never achieved the same level of success. Now consider the case of J.K. Rowling, the author of the famous Harry Potter series. Many may assume that her talent for writing was all she needed to become successful. But the truth is, her journey was filled with hardships. Before Harry Potter was published, Rowling was a struggling single mother living on welfare. She faced numerous rejections from publishers, more than a dozen. In fact, many would have given up after the first few rejections, especially if they relied solely on their talent. But Rowling had something else: discipline. She kept writing and rewriting, sending her manuscript to publisher after publisher. Her disciplined persistence is what eventually brought the magical world of Hogwarts to millions of readers around the world. Discipline is not about grand gestures. It's about the small, consistent actions taken every day. It's about setting a goal and working towards it even when the excitement wears off. The initial spark of motivation will always fade, but discipline will keep you going. It is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who only dream. Imagine an aspiring musician who practices the piano for an hour every day, without fail. Compare them to another person who is naturally gifted at playing the piano but only practices when they feel like it. Over time, the disciplined musician will surpass the talented one because daily practice builds skill, technique, and resilience. Even the world of business shows that discipline outweighs talent. Take Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, for example. Edison was known for his incredible work ethic. He famously said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." He conducted thousands of experiments before finding the right design for the light bulb. His success didn't come from a sudden stroke of genius, but from a relentless, disciplined effort to keep trying and learning from each failure. If he had stopped after his first few failed attempts, the light bulb might not have been invented when it was. His disciplined approach is a powerful reminder that hard work and perseverance can outshine raw talent. There's another powerful story of discipline that comes from the world of martial arts. Bruce Lee, the legendary martial artist, once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." This statement reflects the essence of discipline. It's not about how many different things you can do, but how committed you are to mastering one. Lee's disciplined practice made him one of the most skilled martial artists in history, not because he was born with an extraordinary gift, but because he worked tirelessly to develop it. It's important to understand that discipline isn't easy. It requires effort, time, and sometimes sacrifice. It means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. There will always be days when you're tired, uninspired, or frustrated. But those are the days that count the most. Those are the moments when discipline proves its value because showing up and putting in the work despite the lack of motivation builds a strength that talent alone never could. Discipline is also about setting boundaries and sticking to them. For example, a student aiming for top grades must not only attend classes but also create a study schedule and stick to it. It might mean saying no to distractions like social media or hanging out with friends, even when it's tempting. It's not because the student is any smarter than others. It's because they're willing to put in the consistent effort to achieve their goals. Consider the story of two friends, Anna and Sarah, who both decide to run a marathon. Anna is naturally athletic and can run long distances with ease, while Sarah struggles with even a short jog. Anna feels confident and doesn't train much because she thinks her natural ability will get her through. Sarah, on the other hand, starts with a strict training routine, gradually increasing her distance every week. On the day of the marathon, it's Sarah who crosses the finish line first. Her disciplined training paid off, while Anna found herself struggling because her talent alone wasn't enough to carry her through the entire race. The truth is that talent can sometimes be a trap. When people rely too heavily on their natural abilities, they may not push themselves to work harder or improve. They might become complacent, thinking they don't need to put in the same effort as others. Discipline, however, encourages continuous growth. It challenges you to reach new levels, to keep improving, and to never settle for good enough. So, why is discipline more important than talent? Because discipline is what turns dreams into reality. It's what takes potential and transforms it into skill. It's the driving force that keeps you moving when everything else seems to be working against you. Talent may give you a head start, but discipline is what will get you to the finish line. In the end, the most successful people aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who showed up day after day and put in the work. They're the ones who embraced discipline, understood its power, and used it to overcome challenges. Remember, it's not about how you start, but how you finish. And the ones who finish strong are almost always those who chose discipline over talent.